Hi guys, hi, how's it going? How you doing today? Hopefully today finds you well. Today I am doing my empties, and there's not a lot in here, but I think that there's a lot more than I think. I do think that there's a bunch of just really small things in here. So if that sounds like something that you're interested in, awesome. Please keep on watching. For those of you new here, hi, my name is Donna. I am a lover of all things high-end colorful beauty and self-care. I also work in the beauty industry as a district leader for Ulta. So I get a lot of education in my position. I like to bring you that education through things like reviews, empties, all the things. I just kind of like to talk about makeup, so that's why I'm here. I'm assuming that's also why you're here. I think that you'll find that this is a fun place to be, and I hope that you'll want to subscribe before you go. But with that said, let's roll into these empties. For those of you who are unaware, I do a beauty bank influenced by and took inspiration from Steph. Her channel is It's Just Steph here on YouTube. She does a beauty bank as well. Everybody does it a little bit differently. I can't remember who she was influenced by, but she's who influenced me. Long story short, I gave myself a beauty bank, and what that means is I had 35 points at the beginning of the year to utilize to bring things into my collection. I had at the beginning of this year over 1,200 products. I work in the beauty industry. I get a lot of things into my collection in gratis for free. I also like to spend money on beauty products as well. I get a lot of gifts. 9 times out of 10 they're beauty products, so I get a lot into my collection. I did not want to spend my money on more than 35 products, so that was my bank. Throughout the year, every time I have spent money on a beauty product, I have taken a point away, and every time I have emptied a product, I have added a point back in, right? Because I just didn't want more than 35 products brought into my collection. I think I'm doing a really good job this year, to be honest. At the beginning of August, I had 38 points. At the end of August, I had 35 because I purchased 3 things from Sydney Grace. Now, granted, I got a lot more from Sydney Grace because I got $100 worth of free items, but again, this is about the money that I am spending on the products. So I had 35 points at the end of August. Whatever is beauty related in here, makeup, whatever filters into my inventory that I have finished in this will be another point added to that beauty bank. So we're starting with 35 points. With that said, I do go through the things at the beginning of this that do not filter into my beauty bank. So let's start. The first thing is this. This is the Cinema Secrets Makeup Brush Cleaner. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on this because I have one of these in my empties probably twice a year at this point. I just purchased another one from Sephora. Anyways, this is something that I will always repurchase. I wash my brushes after every single use. I will never be without this in my collection. This isn't something that filters into my inventory though, so it's not something that counts for or against me or into a beauty bank point, but I love this stuff. It's got a nice vanilla scent. It is a little bit chemical vanilla, but not a whole lot chemical vanilla. Like, it's not obscene. It doesn't hurt my eyes when I clean the brushes and then use them again right away. It's just a really great makeup brush cleaner for in between uses. I also deep clean my brushes every single month, but this is what I use in between uses. I love it. I will continue to repurchase it. You will continue to see those things in my empties. The next thing I have in here is this. This is a Biore combo pack. It's got deep cleansing pore strips. This unclogs and diminishes your pores, and there were some for your forehead and some for your nose. Like, I have to be 100% honest, this isn't something that I finished up entirely, but it is something that my son used. I have used them. What I didn't love about these is that these have to be wet when they go on your face, and I don't think that that was 100% made clear in the instructions. So I know that the first couple times I ever used these, I did them wrong. I know that the first time my son used them, he did them wrong. When I picked it up in the bathroom the other day to use one of the forehead strips, because I felt like I had a little bit of a breakout on my forehead and found that they were gone, I was a little irritated at first, but I'm really glad somebody got some usage out of them, and they are the most satisfying thing for people that like to pick zits, if I'm honest. And this is really kind of gross, so don't listen. Plug your ears if you don't want to hear it. But I don't like to do that for sure. But my kids do, which I think is weird. To pull all that, it's just so satisfying, even for somebody who doesn't like to pick zits, I guess. The next thing I have is this, and this is the Clinique Take the Day Off Balm. This is just a little tiny mini size. The Clinique Take the Day Off Balm is the cleansing balm that I use every single day as my first cleanse. This truly takes everything off that you could hope for it to take off. It does so much better than any other balm than I've ever used. I feel like my face is less dry after I use this one versus other balms. I feel like it also leaves less residue than other balms. I also feel like it actually does what I need it to do, which is break down all the makeup, including the waterproof makeup, which I don't find to be the case with many other balms that I've used. So I use this every single day. Because I use this every single day, I don't want to take the one that's in my cabinet in my bathroom out of my bathroom, the big one, every single time I have to go out of town. And I do go out of town every single week for work. So I had this little travel size guy in my makeup bag. I currently have a new travel size guy in my makeup bag. I always get these also in gratis, so it's really easy for me to just pop them in to my makeup bag or my travel bags. This one I got in gratis. The one that I currently have in my bag now was also in gratis, but I think the very first one that I ever tried from the Clinique Take Off the Day Balm was a purchased item. So I will always repurchase these whether I have them or no. So I really like them. They don't cause my eyeballs to get foggy. They don't leave a layer. They take off everything I need, and that is what I need for them to do. The next item I have in here is this Kitao. I think it's Kitao. It's Kitao. Kitao Matcha and Chai Essence Lotion. It's a very interesting product because it's definitely not a lotion. It was more of a serum. You guys can see the little like component here has this thing. You just dump it out into your hand and then massage your hands together and then pat it into your face. It's a serum. It's a serum. But it has kind of this almost lotiony feel, but I feel like it's a little more greasy than lotiony. I did not love this. I used probably a third of the bottle, gave it a real gung-ho effort, and then gave it to my kid. He ended up finishing it off. If you can get your kid to do any kind of skincare, like, that's a plus. He is a 16-year-old boy, so how I got him to do it, I'm not sure. But it also kind of has like a hairspray essence to it as far as the smell goes. It wasn't a bad essence as far as like serums go, but I don't think also that it did anything for my skin except make my skin feel more greasy than lotiony. I think it's supposed to be hydrating, but again, I don't feel like it did anything for my skin in that way. Okay, this didn't filter into my beauty bank. This is a black teeth whitening tool. This did not work. This did not work for poop. You push this button back here and it puts like charcoal up into the tip of this, which is why the tip of this is kind of like a gray tone brush. And then you brush it on your teeth. And then you sit like this for what feels like forever. But it's like 10 minutes, I think it is, that you have to not put your lips over the top of your teeth, not eat, not drink, not anything. Your mouth gets so dry while you're doing that. But also, it didn't whiten my teeth. It didn't do anything. There was no purpose for this. So I would never repurchase this. I do think that I purchased this through FabFitFun, I believe. I would never repurchase this. This didn't do anything. So glad to have it gone. There's nothing else that's coming out of it. Another thing that doesn't filter into my beauty bank is this. This is the Gold Fatten MD Solution Vital Boost Even Skin Tone Daily Moisturizer. Mouthful of a name. It is for uneven skin tone, and it's got vitamin D, hyaluronic acid, and gooseberry in it. I really loved this moisturizer. would consider repurchasing it, but I remember getting it in IPSY and thinking, holy hell, who would spend that kind of money on that tube of moisturizer? This is like $70 or some shit. Like, what? It comes in a squeezy tube. Like, who would pay $70 for something that comes in a squeezy tube? Let me tell you, there has got to be something else that I have in my collection of skincare down there that will help with uneven skin tone. But this was amazing. If you've got, 70 something dollars to spend on a moisturizer, for sure, Goldfed MD has some killer options out there because this really did work. I felt like even after just a couple days of usage, I could see a difference in how my skin tone came together in a more collaborative way, if that makes sense. Like, I wasn't like super splotchy by any means. I thought about dragging it down onto my chest because my chest gets really red through here, but I just don't think that. I think that's maybe rosacea. I'm not sure what that is, but I really did love this moisturizer, and it didn't make my skin feel greasy either, which some moisturizers do. I also used it on like areas of my arm where I would love for like the skin tone to be just a little bit better. I would say here specifically on my like elbow area, right here, I get like this super dry, super awful patch of skin. I just have super dry elbow skin. I think on this arm, it's much better. The uneven texture and tone of my skin has been helped more so than on this one. I think you guys can see still the dark patches there, and on this arm it's not as apparent. But I really did love it. It was so good. I would consider spending the $70 or whatever it is if I didn't have other products down there. I'm sure that I have something that will help me with my uneven skin tone though, and I will use that before I go back and purchase this guy. But it was really good. I loved that product. My daughter loves it when I get rid of tools and there's not really anything wrong with them because she takes them. They are these tools here. So these brushes here, these Lisa Frank and Morphe brushes, you guys can see I hate using them. I hate working with them. This one is super stiff, but also pokey. I think it should be more floppy than it is. It just blends not super great. And I don't even know what kind of brush it is because it doesn't have a number on it. This one I didn't mind as much. It's got kind of a domed feel to it, but it was too stiff for, again, they're just, these two are super stiff. And I think that the way I use them, I need them to be a little more floppy, and they're just not. Like, just a smidge bit more floppy. My daughter will love them specifically because they have the color and the cheetah print on them, because they're from the Lisa Frank line. I have to be honest with you, I'm not a big fan of Morphe brushes, and a lot of these that I am showing you are Morphe brushes, but I am especially not fond of Morphe brushes that come as part of a collaborative set. I am getting rid of one of the Jaclyn Hill brushes today just because it's been in my collection for such a long time and I've washed it a lot, and Morphe brushes don't hold up as well as like Sigma or your more expensive brushes, and I get that. They're only like $6 a piece or something like that. But this one is the Jaclyn Hill 303, I think. Anyways, this is what it looks like. It's just too splayed out and too pokey, and my old ass eyes do not like pokiness on them these days. And I also have brushes that don't poke me anymore in the eyeballs, so decent brushes that don't poke me anymore. So once a brush gets to the status that it is too pokey and it feels uncomfortable to use, I get rid of it. That is what is going on with this brush also. This is the M441, also by Morphe. It is super fluffy, one of my favorite brushes, but because I bought the James Charles set a way long time ago, I had a backup of both of these, to be honest. So I just took these ones out, put them in my get rid of pile, and put the new ones into my pile. And this one is that same thought process. This one is the 224. Now the problem with this one is, I don't know if you guys can see it, but there is something very dark within the bristles of this, and I cannot for the life of me, I don't think it's a stain. I really just don't think that it's a stain. It's specifically down here along the edge of the ferrule. I just don't think it's a stain. It freaks me out. So I had another one. I'm getting rid of this one. This one will go into the trash because I do believe this is pretty densely packed. I do believe that might be some kind of bacteria down there. The other one that I'm getting rid of is just because, I've tried to use this a couple times now. I've been trying to go through my brush collection and find the brushes that I really, really love versus the ones that I really, really don't. And this one is one that I just really, really did not love and I will not use. I don't see myself using it ever. This is the Luxie 140, which is a detailed tapered blender brush. And I love Luxie brushes. I was using it for concealer and found that it was too dense to blend concealer very well, to be honest. And I don't like concealer in the first place. So maybe that's a me thing. But then I started using it to tap out my eye primer. And again, it's pokey, but especially pokey. It's not pokey when you lay it down on your eye like this, but when you use this tip in the like crevices of your eye, it is so pokey. And I'm like, why is it pokey on the tip? And that's where I really needed it to not be pokey. So I am getting rid of that guy also. He will also go to my daughter because I just won't use those brushes anymore. She will love those brushes. The last thing I believe that's in here that doesn't count towards my beauty bank is this guy here, and it is just a sample size of the Proactive Green Tea Moisturizer. None of my skincare or tools or anything like that counts into my beauty bank. It's not something I have in inventory, so I should, but it's not something I have in inventory. So this doesn't count for that reason. Again, it's not one of the items that I wholeheartedly used, but also it's an item that had very little product in it because it's just a mini or a sample size of a product. This is the Green Tea Moisturizer. I liked it. I did, but I didn't love Proactive as a whole for my skin. It just dried out my skin so bad. And I think that this is maybe the wrong product for my skin type. It was a good moisturizer. It just wasn't the kind of moisturizer that I need for my skin. I don't feel like it moisturized my skin enough, but my son loved it. So I let him finish it up. So the last things we have in here, I'm going to mention this one first because I can't remember if this goes against me. I don't think that this counts for me. So let's talk about this one. This is the Larinum Mineral Lash Dance Intensive Lash Serum. And it's got peptides with pumpkin cells in it. It's supposed to help lengthen, thicken, and renew your lashes. It is vegan and there's no animal testing on it. And it says, Lash Dance Intense Lash Serum is a gentle, effective formula with peptides and pumpkin cells designed to nourish the eyelashes. It's got a brush tip on it, and you can see through here that there's no product in there anymore. You guys, I do not know what this did. I can't tell you. I don't know what it did. I have zero clue what the intention of this product was. I don't feel like my lashes felt any more nourished. I don't feel like they felt any more hydrated. I don't feel like they felt any different. I know for certain they're not any thicker. There's no more length on them. These lashes over here have always been like, they're just so weird. I think that they stick straight out, whereas these ones curl. These ones over here on the end of this eye also are a lot shorter than the ones on this side. So I would stick the serum over here to try and lengthen these ones. There's no difference. There's no difference in my lashes prior to using this product as there is now currently. And when I have the Grande Lash Serum and the Babe Lash Serum in my collection now that I know make a difference, I don't want to use this anymore. Even the little tiny itty bitty bit that is still left in there, that might be still left in there that I can't get out of it or I haven't noticed anything coming out of this. So it's time to call quits to this because it's not doing anything for me anyways. I wouldn't repurchase this, and lash serums are not cheap. So what I would say is if this is on your list of, maybes, call it. Just call it. Say no, no, thank you. The rest of these are makeup empties, and you guys, there's actually quite a bit here. But this is why I said I think that there's a lot more in this bucket than I think that there is, because they're all small. But every single one of these products lands on my inventory. So it is a product that earns me a point at the end of the day. So the first things I'll talk about are these things that came out of my project pan. The first being the Laura Geller Lip Strip Smoothing Sugar Scrub. This was something that had been part of my Shop My Stash for almost a year before I moved it into my project pan because I just wasn't seeing any traction on it. I just didn't want to use it. I never wanted to use it. So giving myself like some kind of accountability towards using it really kicked my butt into gear because it is empty. It did start almost immediately at the beginning of the year, if not at the beginning of the year, in this project pan. It took me all through the month of August to finish it. So the next item I have in here is this. This is the Buxom Plump Liner in the shade, I think Hush Hush is what the shade was. It's no longer on here. But according to my inventory chart, that's the one that's missing when I look at my other lip pencils. This is completely empty. It was weird to me to be trying to sharpen this and pull it out of the sharpener only to see that there was absolutely nothing left in here. These Buxom pencils, you can see, get about this far and then there's nothing left in them. So I'm really thankful to have that out of my collection. It has been part of my collection for a very long time. I love Buxom plump liners because I fill in my whole lip with lip liners, and these made it really easy to do, and I didn't go through them as quickly as I go through a smaller lip liner. They used to be my favorite lip liner, but I think that they were my favorite because they were fat, not because they were a good formula. They're a decent formula, but I have since found better formulas. I also have these two primers. These are just, deluxe sizes of the Professional Pearl Primer and the Professional Hydrate Primer. I loved these primers together. This one made the silicone nature of this one just a little bit more lotiony, and I also was able to get kind of a pore filling, hydrating, but also like healthy glow finish to my skin, whether I was wearing makeup or not. I did put these on my face. They were brought into my project pan, and I was able to finish them within the month. The next products I brought in through, I've been doing a lot of declutters on my channel. Hopefully you guys have been seeing them. I have, two products that I brought into my empties from doing those declutters and just realizing that they have been sitting in my collection empty probably this whole time. One is the Fierce Flicks eyeliner by Ciate. This is one that I used quite a bit for the longest time, but you guys can see there's barely anything left in this eyeliner. So I started using it. I started using something else. I went back and forth with both of them for a while, and then this one just continued to sit, and maybe it continued to sit because it was starting to dry up and I just never got it into my empties, but putting it into my empties now because it is indeed empty. The other one is this one. This is by Lily Lashes, and this is the Lily Lashes Power Liner that is also a glue for your lashes. But again, you guys can see there's hardly anything coming off of this brush, and I need it to be a glue, and there's just not much there. I certainly am not sticking to it my body, so a lash is not going to stick to it either. So that is empty, and it did go into my empties. This one was also noticed through declutters because I was going through all of my eyeliners, pulled this one out, went to go swatch it, realized it wasn't there, went to go roll it up, realized it was empty. It's empty. So this is the Lock-It Waterproof pencil eyeliner by Lock Color, and and it was just a brown eyeliner. If I remember correctly, it was a really stiff brown eyeliner, and it kept breaking on me when I was using it. For an eyeliner, you want it to be creamy, and it was so stiff that it kept breaking. I wasn't getting any kind of pigmentation off of it, and I think that's why maybe it went back into my thing and I just forgot about it. Maybe the last time it broke off completely and I didn't realize that and just threw it. Because I do that sometimes. But this one is completely empty as well. Then I have the KVD tattoo liner. This one is a good eyeliner, but you guys can see it's just not very black anymore, and it's kind of skippy. And I know that when this eyeliner is performing at its best, it is so much blacker than this, and it's not skippy at all. So I do know that this one is gone in there. There's no more product to be had in there. I also went through this, which is the Infallible Matte Lock Longwear Mattifying Primer. This is just a little tiny sample guy, or deluxe guy. It was part of my collection via my sample series, honestly, I believe. I hate this primer. I'm just not a matte girl. I don't need a mattifying primer. It's just not made for me. But if you are looking for something to hold your oils at bay, to make sure that your skin is 100% mattified, that there's nothing coming through, that there's no dewiness ever, this is a good primer for you, but it's just not my right kind of primer. The last three items I have here are these guys. So this is the Bag Bang waterproof mascara, and I just did a mascara declutter. This one I actually have had open and in use, I realized through that declutter, since April. I do not use my mascaras more than 3 months, and the reason, 3 to 6 months I guess is where I'm going with this, and it hasn't quite been the 6-month mark, right? But it's been well over the 3-month mark, and I realized during that video that this is actually really freaking thick, and it's not usually I mean, it's a thick mascara, but it's not like a thick clumpy mascara. And Bag Bang is one of my favorite mascaras, and the last several times I've worn this, I'm like, what the hell is the problem? This is a pain in the ass. It's because it's old, Donna. It's old and it needs to go. So this one is also an empty, and then I have a Clarins lip oil. This is the Clarins Water Lip Stain. I guess it's a stain. It's not lip oil. The rest of it that is in there, I can't get out. The brush, because it's such a little tiny, like it's a deluxe sample size guy, it doesn't quite bend the way that I think a full size would. I loved this stain. It was a good way to have, you know, a red lip without having a red lip, because this actually dries down a little more like orange. So that's what it is once you take it off. It's a little more almost corally orange. It's beautiful, and it smells so good. It smells so good. I would repurchase these stains in a heartbeat. I think that these are hands down the best stains I've ever tried, these Clarins lip stains. The last thing I have in here is this, and this is the L'Oreal True Match Lumi Glotion. I did a cream and liquid highlighter video in which I forgot about these, and I forgot about these because they're in a completely different spot on my desk. And when I realized that I had forgotten about these, I'm like, what the hell? I need to start using these things. And I had pulled this in and started using it like this time last year and didn't really love it. So what I did with it this year to get it all gone, because it was about to here, I think, when I pulled it back in and started using it more. And there's a smidge bit in there, but like I really have to bend the component in order to get it out, or cut it. And you all know that I'm just not that bitch. I'm not going to do that. I don't like it if it's messy. I just don't. I put this into lotion. I put this into the lotion that went onto my body all throughout this summer, and that's how I got it used up. Like, I really did like this mixed into my lotion. I hated using it as a lotion itself. I hated using it as a liquid highlight. I hated using it as a lotion itself, which is what it tells you to do, but mixed into my other products, like into a foundation to make it a little more glowy, into a moisturizer to make it a glowy moisturizer. I loved it that way. I would repurchase it to use it like that, but I forgot that it even existed in my collection for a whole year. So I have a whole nother giant one from Becca that's not even in business anymore that I haven't even used. I haven't even used that. So I'll use that up and then we'll see. We'll see how I feel about it. But this is also an empty in my collection that counts against my inventory. So when I count up all of the makeup empties, all these guys that count for my beauty bank, this is 12 items. This is 12 more points that I get to add to the already 35 points that I have left over from August. Next year, I think I'm going to give myself far less points. But then watch next year is the year that I want to spend all the money on makeup. Because after I add these 12 points, I have 47 points. I do not see myself spending 47 points on makeup items between now and the end of the year. I have done such a great job this year of really maintaining a low buy mentality when it comes to my makeup. So proud of myself. But next year, I think I'm going to maybe decrease the amount of points I start with because I feel like I'm missing something. Does that make any sense? With that said, I will end September with 47 points also because I also don't count anything against me during the month of September because it's my birthday month. And I do buy stuff for myself for my birthday, but because that is how my partner and I have our life set up. Like we are allowed a certain amount of money to spend on ourselves for our birthdays. That way we are not spending stupid money on stupid stuff that we're not going to use. So I will purchase stuff for myself, and I have, and you guys will, or should have already seen part of that spend in a video. I got the Natasha Denona Dream collection that was part of my birthday spend. Nothing that I haul in this month is going to count towards my beauty bank. So I will also end September with 47 points. So I will start October with 47 points. That just seems ridiculous to me. Like, that's just too many points. First world problems. You have too many points to spend on makeup, Donna. I can't imagine myself going through the holiday season and needing to pick up 47 extra pieces of makeup. I also have decluttered quite a bit this year, so I think that you guys are going to be super shocked to see my inventory at the end of the year. I cannot wait. I cannot wait to do it because I've been tracking everything all year long. So I know what the numbers are. I think you all are going to be shocked. So there's that. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. I do hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that you enjoyed the empties, and I hope that you loved me. What are you emptying? I would love to know how many empties you have month over month over month. I've heard from a lot of people that I have an atrocious amount of empties. So I would love to hear from you guys down in the comments section. Hit me up. I would love to talk. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. I don't know what that noise was just now. Thank you guys so much for joining me today. I hope that you and yours are well. I hope that you all are safe and healthy and getting along as best you can in this crazy world we're living in currently. And I hope that you're all loving each other, but loving each other from afar. My camera died just as I was saying bye, friends. So I had to come back and say bye, friends.